Disney recently announced at all its properties that you have to wear masks again. They mandated it. There's parks, hotels, all properties. And that resulted, you can see the crowds at Universal and those probably, that resulted in a lot of people switching their plans from Disney and those Disney parks to Universal. And it makes sense for several reasons. One, it was 90 degrees. Wearing a mask 90 degrees, we did that already. We did that about a year ago when we went to Disney. And we said, okay, let's just go. We'll hang out. There's not going to be a lot of people there. And it turns out there wasn't a lot of people there, but they closed everything except for the rides. So every ride had 45-minute lines on it. Didn't matter. You could do the virtual thing or whatever, but it was still a long time because there was no shows. There was no food stands. There was no nothing. So the only thing you could do is go there and go on the rides. And every other ride, they're wiping it down. So it wasn't like it was, operating at full capacity. Anyway, we were wearing masks then, and even my kids said that, we don't want to go. We don't want to go back. We want to go next day because they just couldn't wear the mask in that kind of heat. It's very difficult. So Disney mandating that hurt them a lot. Plus, you're not seeing that business internationally. Someone's been going in for a very, very long time. I could tell you, the international crowd is very, very large at these Disney parks. And right now, they're not really going there. You could see it. You're not seeing a lot of people speaking different languages or anything because the restrictions of flying back into your country. I mean, you have to take a COVID test before. So if they come to the U.S., now you have to take a COVID test like 3-4 days before to get back into your country. If you have COVID, you have to stay here another 2 weeks. You know how expensive that is? You know how hard it is to make plans like for an extra 2 weeks? And that's a pretty big risk to take. And a lot of these people put you on quarantine even when you get back in there if you're coming from the U.S. for 2 weeks. But it's resulting in that international crowd not coming to those Disney parks right now. So if you look at the crowds, I'd say it's mostly Floridians. I'd say about 40 to 50%. And the rest is from other states around the U.S. And Floridians, look, we're not wearing masks anymore. We're not. I mean, it's funny when I see so many media channels right now. Of course, the media channels with an agenda. I think every news organization has an agenda. We all saw that, right? We all know that for a fact now. But they're trying to destroy DeSantis. I didn't even know who DeSantis was when I was here. I had no idea. But just, you see it so much now with him fighting with Biden back and forth. But even Kramer said something really stupid the other day that, he's basically, killing people, whatever he said. I kind of let him have it on Twitter. I love Kramer, but when you're saying stupid shit when you don't live here, you got to get called out a little bit, all right? And I hate when people are talking about that when they really don't know from someone that's lived here, right? You're just listening to your own organization, which is 100% biased. And again, I understand if you're on that certain channel, you have the agenda, you have to support it no matter what you think, or you're not going to be working there, right? So I get it. I understand. But still, when you're saying that publicly and you don't live here and don't know what's going on, and for me, living here for 10 years now, and DeSantis has done, he saved our economy. And it wasn't like this reckless decision. He's looking at the facts. He's looking at the numbers like everybody else, like the statistics I showed you. And I tell you all the time. But last year, we opened up early, and then we had a spike in cases again. And he cut back. He was open like 75%. They cut back to 50 to 40%. He wasn't like, oh, F it, let's just keep it. No, he was just looking at the facts. Yeah, everybody thinks he's this reckless guy, especially if you don't live in Florida, based on everything that they're saying to him through the news and whatever. But more to the point, what is DeSantis doing? We, the people, us, you, me, we vote for our politicians. Why do we vote for a specific politician? Because they support the same ideas that we have. Not every single idea, but most of them. We like them and say, hey, this is how I live my life, and this guy's going to run it based on whatever, the tax structure, if you're into climate change, both on Democrats, Republicans. That's who you vote for. And that person is supposed to speak for their constituents, right? And that's their job. So DeSantis is listening to everyone in Florida. We don't want to wear masks. Kids should not be mandated to be vaccinated. I mean, give me a break. Are you kidding me? I mean, you look at statistics with the CDC. Holy cow. The director of the CDC went on TV. This is last week. About 10 days ago, she went on TV and said that more kids between 5 and 11 die from COVID than the flu. And that's 100% false. She lied. Based on her own stats on the CDC website. That's false. But you're mandating? You shouldn't mandate. If people want their kids vaccinated, it's up to your parents. You do it if you want your kids. If they have underlying conditions, get vaccinated. It's fine. I'm not anti-vax or craziness on each side, but that should be up to the parents. It should be mandated that your kids, especially since we know for a fact that the kids are mostly immune to this. I mean, it's insane how they're throwing this out there. But I thought the job of the politicians was, hey, listen to your constituents. It's funny how so many people from the left are trying to destroy this guy's credibility. I mean, it makes sense since these are the same people who want to totally control you and tell you exactly what to do and what you need to do, mandating in America, which is insane. But man, the fact that they're going after this guy, and I see it all the time, makes me realize that, wow, they're really scared of him. They think he's going to be the candidate to run for president next, not Trump. We'll see. But from someone living in Florida, man, this guy got it right. I mean, he saved lives. A lot of people here that have their jobs still. Yeah, pretty amazing. The fact that he's saying that he's killing people, come on, Kramer, you got to be better than that. You got to be better than that, man. Come on. Someone who worked under you for so many years and you pounded it in our heads, do the research, do the homework, man. Spend 10 minutes. I understand you can't say shit publicly because you work for somebody. I get it. But come on, man. Don't say anything then. Don't say shit that you don't know about, especially about a state you don't know about or whatever, and killing people. Really? Come on. You got to be better than that. Anyway. But Disney mandating masks again, I would be very surprised if they report a good quarter. It's Q3. I'd be very surprised. Since their parks, they're going to fall way short of estimates. I mean, Broadway, you're not really seeing that crowd. Still mostly closed. Even we wanted to go see Blue Man Group, and they ended Blue Man Group in February. Said, we're not going to do it anymore in Orlando. Which is surprised. So you're seeing that. Streaming, they're like, hey, we're going all into streaming because that was the best thing that happened to their stock price, and said, we got 100 million, 120 million subscribers. Holy cow, even though 80% of those subscribers are free, like me. I have Disney. It's free because I have Verizon. Absolutely free. I don't see them converting these people over to paid subscribers. I'm not paying for it. No way. If they come out with great new content, I will, but I'm just not going to pay for it. My kids aren't really interested in that stuff. A lot of stuff they can see on YouTube and everything else. They don't want to watch, Cinderella and Bambi for the 1,000th time. Some kids do, but eventually you get sick of it. Especially with TikTok and everything else and what they're competing with. Now they're trying to release their movies in theaters and then same time through streaming, kind of like HBO, which resulted in Scarlett Johansson suing Disney, since that was not in her contract. And what did Disney do? Of course, they handled it professionally, saying, Johansson showed, and I'm quoting, callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the global 19 of the COVID-19 pandemic. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Horrific? Disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of COVID-19. Horrific, really? And by the government's calculations, look at the stats. The same amount of people have died over the past 12 months and over the past calendar year in 2020 as previous years. So there's no uptick in deaths in the U.S. Again, nobody likes stats and facts anymore, right? You can say whatever you want. And if Nixon was around today, they could catch him even more than they did with Watergate, and he'd be like, I didn't do it, and he'd still be in office. And that's the way it is right now. You could catch a politician on video doing something, and they're like, nope, I didn't do it, and everybody ignores it. That's the way it is now. That's how crazy it is. But when you look at stats, there's no upticks in death in the U.S. It's because people are not dying from other things, like the flu. Since COVID is kind of a form of the flu. It is. I mean, look how many people get the flu every single year. This year, hardly anybody got the flu. Why? If you look at the numbers, what is it, 32 to 35 million? That same amount of people have COVID and not the flu. You got a shot, a flu shot. Well, it's a COVID shot. It's the vaccine. And we were told once you get that vaccine, you're fine. You'll never need to wear a mask again. That's coming straight from the president. Now you got to wear masks again. And you know what? You need a booster shot. It sounds like the flu, doesn't it? I had COVID. Listen, it's worse than the flu, and it's worse for some people, but when you look at statistics, it's very comparable. But nobody wants to tell you that. They just want to tell you Delta is all over the place, and you got to be careful. Even though Delta is a very mild strain, it's more contagious, but it doesn't kill people. Not as much. Yet everyone's going crazy. Delta, wear masks, close everything. New York, mandating, all indoors. Forget, I don't even want to go to New York anymore. It pains me to say that. Pains me. That's where I grew up for 40 years. I am not going to New York. I'm talking about business or personal. I have no intention on going there. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. But getting back to Disney here, I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to piss off one of the most respected actors on the planet with that line. I mean, apologize and settle it, but really you're throwing COVID out there? That's what you're pissed off about? She's talking about a contract and saying you're not supposed to release streaming. They're like, oh, you're total disregard for COVID? No, you signed a contract. But I could tell you, streaming is all about new content. Netflix continues to blow away the competition. No one's even close. No one's even close to Netflix. No one's even close. And most new content needs great actors and actresses. Most, not all of them, but most of them do. Which is why Netflix, again, is kicking everyone's ass, locking in some of the biggest actors on the planet. But looking at Disney and the stock, I suggest buy it here. Because every time I throw out facts and figures and stuff like that, I mean, it's like AMC. The numbers don't matter. Nobody really cares when it comes to earnings and sales. I have nothing personally against Disney. I hope they kick ass. I really do. I have nothing personal against them. Just think the company's on very shaky ground. Nobody really talks about it. And they're one of the few, if not only, consumer-related companies you'll find, and these are major companies, S&P 500, that you'll find, the whole S&P 500, where earnings have not returned to pre-COVID levels already, and they're not expected to return earnings to pre-COVID levels until 2023. That's a long time, 2023. We're in 2021, 2022. I mean, think about that. That's how much money they're spending on streaming because they're giving it away for free. And they're not generating $1 billion on their Marvel stuff anymore. There's no one going to Broadway. Look at all their channels. And they're going to be fine. They're going to be cool. But should the stock be trading at 30 times forward earnings when you're growing earnings much slower than the rest of the world? And you decide to go all in on streaming, which we know from Netflix is a huge money-losing business for decades for them. Yeah, decades, for a good 12 to 15 years. That's a tough business, charging people. Again, you have pricing power, I guess, but does Disney really have pricing power? It's not that pricing power when you just give 80% of your subscribers are free. They won't tell you that. The 80% are free. And all their ads are coming internationally, which is a much lower average revenue per user. Again, they want to just show 120 million, 150 million, 200 million. That's what they want to show. And eventually you have that, and they're going to be forced, hey, we'll make money off of those emails and those people eventually. But I don't think it's going to be through streaming. And they're the greatest marketing machine in the world. So, they'll probably do it, but it's going to take a while. For me, paying up at 30 times forward earnings for this, are you crazy? I mean, you could buy IBM that's growing much, much faster, has a 4.5% yield, generate $12 billion in cash flow, and more than 50% of their earnings comes from cloud. I mean, it's a cloud company now. And it's trading like 12, 13 times forward earnings? Would you rather own? But hey, Disney's streaming. We're okay. Wait till next quarter. They're going to announce big numbers on streaming. They'll probably give it away for free again. Their intentions weren't to give it away for free for Verizon, but they had to because they couldn't see a drop in that number because they know they would have saw a 30% drop in their stock price. It's the only thing holding their stock price up. So they said, hey, we're going to give it to these people for a few months. And then when I called, they said, no, you have it free for life. I said, I have free Disney for life? They said, yes, because you're a Verizon wireless customer with, unlimited data plan. I was like, holy cow. Anyway, that's over 100 million people. So you figure 50, 70 million convert over to Disney? Crazy.